Hey everybody, my name is Sophia and welcome to my corner of the internet. I hope in this video I entertain you half as much as I entertain myself. So it's the day after I posted my first video and I just want to thank each and every one of you from the absolute bottom of my heart for being so loving and supportive, and it means the world to me and gives me so much energy and so much drive to keep going and doing this, and I just can't thank you guys enough, so it means the world to me. Thank you. So let's just hop right into it. This story time. This is about my stalker coworker. So if you guys watched my last video, I told you guys that I work at the YMCA. And so probably 3 weeks ago, I was at work and this girl came in and she looked really nice, she looked really sweet. And I asked her, I was like, oh, I've never seen you here before. How long have you been working here? And she was like, oh, I actually don't work here. I'm a volunteer. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I started talking to her and she was so awesome and she was so nice, and we were like doing everything together, like cleaning and standing and cleaning, because that's all I do. So after about 45 minutes to an hour of working, she was like, oh, let me get your phone number so I can see your schedule to know when you work, so I can try and volunteer those hours so we can work together, because we seem like a pretty good team. And I was like, yeah, sure, you're so sweet, of course. And then right after I gave her my phone number, it just went meow. So I asked her why she was volunteering instead of working here, and she goes, oh, I need a ton of volunteer hours. And I was like, oh, maybe like you're in college or high school or something and trying to get your volunteer hours to get your little cord when you graduate or whatever. And I was like, oh, cool, what for? And she was like, court mandated. And I was like, red flag number 1. And she's like, well, this time I haven't gone to jail yet. And I was like, red flag number 2. But for check fraud. And I was like, oh, check fraud. That's pretty neat. And I was like, okay, and kind of like derailed the situation because I was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And then she was telling me how she was like super sore, and I was like, oh, why? She's like, me and my boyfriend had so much sex yesterday. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? We work with kids. Like, you need to not. Like, you're up here, you need to be out of the frame. That's where you need to be. And she was like, yeah, we had so much sex today because I just saw him for the first time in a long time. And I was like, oh, was he like on a business trip or vacation? And she's like, no, he was in jail. Red flag number 3. And I was like, oh, what for? And she was like, oh, girl, well, let me tell you. And I was like, oh no, Sophia, you're in too deep. And it's really loud in there, so half the things she's saying to me I can't understand all the way, so I'm just kind of like, uh-huh. And she's like, so me and him, we have this thing where if you need like really cheap clothes that you normally spend a lot of money for, you can just come to me, because I just like, I get them for free and then I sell them. And I was like, oh, so you steal things and then turn around and sell it? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, red flag number 4. And at that point I stopped responding. Like, I would just like nod and then walk away, and she kept like following me just everywhere I would go. She would just be there talking to me. And she was like right now I'm more into like the petty stuff, but I'm trying to get like more into it. More into it? What do you mean? And I just kind of like look at her like, and she's like, yeah, you're really cute and really inconspicuous. I feel like if I took you to a car dealership, you could totally get away with taking a car. I was shook. And I didn't really like process this until after she like left. And so while she talked to me and saying, oh, you would be really cute and like really inconspicuous at car stealing, I'm just ignoring her and nodding. And then after I nod, I like realize what I just like nodded to, and she's like, oh my god, great, okay, so I'll text you and we can totally get together this weekend. And I was like, oh my god, this chick has my phone number. my coworker, who's one of my friends, Robbie, I told him about it, and he was like, yeah, that needs to not happen. So we went and we told like our boss, and she was like, yeah, she will not be volunteering here anymore. And apparently she had like a bunch of other run-ins with one of our other coworkers, and like they went on a date, and she got really drunk and was super crazy and like stole his house keys and like stalked him. And so like for the next 2 days she was texting me, calling me nonstop, like, oh hey girl, it's Nani. That was not her name, but she was like, it's me, like we should hang out, like come pick me up, we can go like to the mall and go get some stuff and start business. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And so I was at work one day, and I spent a lot of my time at work up at the slide, like letting kids down. And I was up there, and I saw her, and I was like panicking. I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Like, I haven't responded to her texts for days. And she sees me, and she's like looking up at me like, and I'm up there, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear. It's too loud. Leave me alone. And then she like looks around and darts up the stairs, and I'm like, oh my god, 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 oh my god. And she runs up and she's like, hey girl, where have you been? I've been calling you, I've been texting you. And I was like, my parents found out that I had bad grades, and they like took my phone, so I like haven't really been like on my phone too much. And she was like, oh, okay. So and then Robbie, he saw her, and he sprinted. I've never seen anybody move that fast in my entire life. He sprinted across the pool and like ran up the stairs to me, and he was like, hey, you need to not be up here. And she was like, oh, I'm just talking to my friend. He's like, yeah, I know, but you really need to not be up here. And she was like, okay, God, I'll leave. And like went down, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, oh my god, I'm shook. And then she left, and she came back again looking for me, but I was in the guard room, I think, and everyone told her that like I wasn't here, and she was like asking everybody for my schedule. And then I left work, and when I got home, Robbie called me, and he was like, hey, are you home? And I was like, yeah, I just got here. Why? What's up? And he's like, okay, because she came back looking for you and just left, and I didn't know if you were still here or not, and she might have been in the parking lot looking for you. And so now every time I go to work, I'm terrified that this crazy chick who wants to bring me into her car stealing ring is going to show up again. So thank you guys so much for watching this story time. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you loved it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure to follow me on my social media, my Instagram at SophiaIsabella9, and add me on Snapchat at Sophia with a 0_Isabella. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.